spliff.
Well, I don't know.
You have to edit that.
Well, Roger put it on, not
Okay.
me.
Carry on.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Satyavanto Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathandutam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Mitanscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, this is Sambhava Parva, chapter 110.
Just mute myself.
Right? Are we sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Vaishampayana said, after the deer's death, the king and his wives lamented grievously, as if they had lost a relative. Pandu said, even if born in righteous families, deluded by the net of desire, men confront calamity because of their deeds and when their intelligence is destroyed. I have heard that my own father was born from a man always devoted to Dharma, but he died when he was still young because he lived a life of addicted to desire. That would be Vichitravirya. Through the illustrious Rishi, Krishna Dvaipayana, self-controlled in speech, I was born in the field of that lustful king. Despite that, I have become evil-hearted, and my lowly mind is spent on evil chase of deer, deserted by the gods. I am tied down by a great vice, and I will now seek salvation. Following the undecaying example set by my father, I will now follow a meritorious way of life. I will certainly tie myself to a life of extreme austerities. I will live alone, spending each day under a single tree. I will shave off my head and become a hermit who begs for his food as he roams the earth. I will cover myself with dust and be without a home and without refuge. The foot of a tree will be my home. I will renounce everything that is loved or hated. I will neither grieve nor rejoice, and praise and blame will be the same to me. I will not seek homage or greetings. I will be at peace and without possessions. You see, you will own nothing and be happy. I will not mock anyone, nor will I furrow my brow at anyone. With a smiling face, I will always devote myself to the welfare of all creatures. I will never transgress the four orders, movable and immovable, and will treat them all equally, like my own children. Once every day, I will beg my food from 2 or 5 families and sustain myself. If it is impossible to obtain food in this way, I will fast. I will eat only a little and will never be greedy. I will never beg for more and never include more than 7. Footnote, not beg for more than 7 families. End of footnote. I will think of the cutting off of one arm with an axe and the covering of the other with sandalwood in the same way. I will not think of one as good and another as evil, since both are equal. I will not act so as to live, nor act so as to die. Life and death are the same, and I will not welcome one or hate the other. I will give up all the rituals for prosperity that those who are alive indulge in, and times for their observance. I will also give up everything that makes the senses work. I will cleanse myself of all sin and even give up that done in the name of Dharma. I will be free from all sin and all traps. I will not be under anyone's powers, but will follow the dharma of being as free as the wind. I will always sustain myself in this way and no other. I will make my body weak, the path of fearlessness. The path of fearlessness, and not deviate. I will not follow the miserable path of dogs, followed by those without virility. I will follow my own righteous dharma and tread the lovely path of not using one's virility. He who is honored and dishonored and lusts for another life with hungry eyes becomes full of desire and treads the path of dogs.
Ooh.
When he had uttered these words, the king sorrowfully sighed. He looked at Kunti and Madri and said, "Tell Kausalya Kshatta Vidura, the king and all his relatives, the lady Satyavati, Bhishma, the royal priests, great-souled, soma-drinking and rigid-vowed Brahmins and old citizens who live here and there under my protection, that Pandu will leave for the forest." Hearing these words of their husband, who had made up his mind on leaving for the forest, both Kunti and Madri addressed him in these words: "O bull of the Bharata lineage, we are your wives under Dharma. There are other stages of life that you can observe with us and still perform great austerities. There is no doubt that even then you will attain heaven. We will also control our senses, devote ourselves to our husband's world, give up all happiness and desire, and perform great austerities. O Lord of the earth, O immensely wise one, if you forsake us, there is no doubt that we will give up our lives today." Pandu replied, "If this decision of yours is in conformity with Dharma, I will follow the undecaying path shown by my father with both of you. I will give up the pleasant life of villages and perform great austerities. I will eat roots and fruit, wear the bark of trees, and roam in the great forest. I will bathe in the morning and evening and make offerings to the fire. I will make my body thin by eating less. I will wear skins and my hair will be matted. I will expose myself to hot and cold winds, hunger, thirst, and exhaustion. Through difficult austerities, I will reduce my body. I will seek solitude and live on fruits, be they ripe or unripe. I will worship the ancestors and the gods with food found in the forest, water, and words. The sight of a man living for Vanaprastha has never affected superior residents. How can it affect those who are inferior? Until my body perishes, I will perform severest penances laid down in the sacred texts for those who live in forests. Having said this to his wives, the king, the descendant of the Kuru lineage, gave the jewel from his crown, necklace, earrings, bracelets, and valuable garments and ornaments belonging to his wives to the Brahmins. That was nice of him. Pandu then again said, "Go to Nagapura," that means Hastinapur, "and say that Pandu has left for the forest. He has given up riches, desire, happiness, and the supreme joy of sex. The descendant of the Kuru lineage has left with his wives." Hearing these words of the lion of the Bharata lineage, the servants and attendants sorrowed and lamented. They bewailed in loud and pitiable voices. They shed hot tears and took their leave of the Lord of the earth. Then they left for Hastinapur with this message. On hearing the details of all that had happened in the great forest, Dhritarashtra, best among kings, mourned for Pandu. Living on roots and fruit, the Kaurava prince Pandu went with his wives to the mountain named Nagashabha. He went to Chaitrarata and crossed the Varishena. Then he crossed the Himalayas and went to Gandhamadana. Protected by the great beings, the Siddhas and the supreme rishis, the king lived for some time on the mountains and for some time on the plains. He then went to the lake Indradyumna and crossed Hansakuta. Then the ascetic arrived at Shatashringa. Footnote, mountain with 100 peaks. End of footnote. Vaishampayana said, there the valorous one engaged in the best of austerities, and soon became a favorite of the Siddhas and the Charanas. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, he was devoted to service, had no ego, was disciplined, and was in control of his senses. Through his own power, he went to heaven. To some, he was a brother. To some others, he was a friend. Other rishis protected him like a son. O bull among the Bharata lineage, after a long time, Pandu attained such great heights of pure austerity that he became a Brahmarishi. With his wives, he wished to cross the Satasringa and reach heaven. With his wives, he was about to start in the northward direction. The ascetics told him, as we went northwards, climbing the king of mountains, we have seen inaccessible regions on the mountain, the playgrounds of the gods, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Kubera's garden, laid out on plain and uneven ground, the sloping banks of the great rivers and impenetrable caverns and mountains. There are regions that are always covered with snow and without trees, animals and birds. Some large tracts are inaccessible. No bird can cross them, not to speak of animals. The only thing that can go there is air, siddhas, and supreme rishis. O bull among the Bharata lineage, how can these princesses cross that king of the mountains? Do not make them sink in that misery, and do not go there. Pandu replied, O illustrious ones, it is said that one without a son has no door to heaven. I have no son, and I tell you that I am in great sorrow. According to Dharma, men are born on this earth with 4 debts to ancestors, gods, rishis, and men. The man who does not discharge them at the right time has no worlds to attain. This has been established by those who know Dharma. The gods are pleased through sacrifices, the sages through studying and austerities, the ancestors through sons and shraddhas, and men through kindness. According to Dharma, I have discharged my debts towards rishis, gods, and other men. O ones blessed with the power of austerities, I am troubled. It is certain that when my body perishes, so will the ancestors. The best of men are born so as to give birth to offspring. I was begotten by the great-souled one in my father's field, meaning Vyas. His father's field was his father's wife. The ascetics replied, O king, O one who is devoted to Dharma, we know that there are offspring for you, learned, beautiful, unblemished, and like the gods themselves. We have seen this through our divine sight, O tiger among men. Through your acts, accomplish what the gods have destined for you. The thinking and intelligent man always obtains fruit that are not spoilt. O son, the fruit can be seen. Exert yourself. When you have obtained offspring with all the qualities, you will find happiness. Having heard these words of the ascetics, Pandu was worried. He remembered that his own procreative powers had been lost thanks to the deer's curse. He told the famous Kunti, his lawful wife, a union to obtain offspring is supported. O Kunti, the sacred texts say that the worlds are established by offspring. The learned ones who know eternal Dharma say this. Offerings, gifts, austerities, self-control, it is said that none of these free a childless man from his sins. O one with the sweet smiles, knowing this, since I am without offspring, I think I can see that I will never attain the bright worlds. O timid one, since I was addicted to cruelty and viciousness through the deer's curse, I lost my powers of procreation before my desire was satisfied. O Pritha, the religious texts speak of 6 kinds of sons who are both heirs and relatives, and 6 kinds of sons who are neither heirs nor relatives. Listen, the son born from one's own self, the son presented, the son purchased, the son born from one's widow, the son born through one's wife before marriage, and the son born through a loose wife. The others are the son gifted, the son bought, the son who is ordained artificially, the son who comes on his own, the son who comes with marriage, and the son who is born of unknown semen, and the son who is born from an inferior womb. One should try to obtain sons from the first downwards and so on. One always desires to obtain a son from a better man. O Prita, the self-created Manu has said that the righteous who have no offspring can ensure the fruits of Dharma outside their own semen. O famous one, since I am myself incapable of procreation, I will ask you to obtain sons through my equals or betters. Kunti, listen to the story of Sharandanayati. What? Sharandanayati. I know I heard that name before. The wife of a warrior. Okay. She was instructed by her superiors to obtain a son. O Kunti, when her season came, she bathed. In the night, she went to a place where 4 roads met and welcomed and accomplished Brahmins. For the sake of obtaining a son, she poured oblations into the fire. After performing this rite, she lived with him, and 3 Mahabharata sons were born thus born. Durjaya, being the eldest, O fortunate one, on my instructions, you should also quickly obtain a son through a Brahmin who is superior to me in austerities. So let Kanai have a go, and then we can pass it round. Kanai! Oh, Kanai!
What can I?
Why doesn't Matura go next, like normal?
Because we're a few of us all here together.
Yeah, I've been very busy, mate, and you know,
You go.
It's your father has ordered,
Yes.
requested your presence in the assembly.
Well, yes, you don't have to read too much.
Like you're reading it.
Okay. Hang on, here we are.
Who's going to be next? Yeah.
I should do it.
You.
Yeah. I was. Well, I just because I
Okay. Vaishampayana said, O king, having been thus addressed, Kunti told Pandu, bull among the Kurus, lord of the earth and her husband, O one who is learned in the law, O one with eyes like those of a blue lotus, you should not speak in this way to me. I am your wife under the law, and am always devoted to you, O mighty armed one, O descendant of the Bharata lineage. According to Dharma, you should yourself father valorous sons on me. O tiger among men, I will go to heaven with you. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, you should unite with me to obtain offspring. Not even in my thoughts will I go to any other man but you. Which man on earth is superior to you? O one with large eyes, O one with Dharma in your heart. Listen to this story from the Puranas. I heard this, and I am now recounting it for you.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute, Peter.
Sorry, carry on, Ganguli.
Actually, look at-
Yeah?
Carry on, yeah.
Yeah.
Kunti said, in ancient times, it is said that there was a king by the name of Vyushitashva. Right? Vyushitashva. Got to practice these names. He extended the Puru lineage and was extremely righteous. The gods, with Indra and the Deva Rishis, came to a sacrifice that this mighty armed and righteous one performed. At the sacrifice of the great-souled Raja Rishi Vyushitashva, Indra was intoxicated with soma juice, and the Brahmanas with their fees. O king, thereafter Vyushitashva was radiant beyond everything on earth, beyond all living beings, and even beyond the sun, after dew has fallen. O supreme among kings, the king conquered all the kings of the east, the north, the middle, and the south. At this great horse sacrifice, the powerful Vyushitashva, with the strength of 10 elephants, became the king of all other kings. Those who know the Puranas sing a verse. Vyushitashva has conquered the entire earth till the boundaries of the ocean. He protects all the Varnas, just as a father protects his own sons. He performed many great sacrifices and gave riches to the Brahmanas. Collecting jewels, he later performed great sacrifices. Extracting a lot of soma juice, he performed the sacrifice known as Somasantha. O Lord of men, his beloved wife was named Bhadra, the daughter of Kakshivat. Because of her beauty, she was unparalleled on earth. It has been heard that they desired each other a lot, and addicted by desire for her, he became a victim of consumption. After some time, he went away like the setting sun. When that king of men died, his wife was afflicted with grief. O tiger among men, O lord of men, it has been heard that she lamented. O supreme among those who know Dharma, a woman without sons lives a life of misery if she lives without her husband. O bull among the Kshatriyas, without her husband it is better for a woman to be dead. Please take me with you. I wish to go where you are going. Without you, I will not be able to bear life for an instant. O king, show your grace to me and take me quickly away. O king, I will always follow you like a faithful shadow and will always be obedient towards you. O tiger among men, I will always do that which is pleasurable for you. O king, O one with the eyes of a lotus, from now a disease that dries up the heart will overcome me, since I will be separated from you. O king, I am unfortunate. In earlier bodies, I must have separated companions or separated a couple that was united. O king, that evil act from an earlier body has now come upon me, and I am suffering this pain as a result. O king, from today I will lie on a bed of kusha grass. I will give up all happiness and think only of seeing you. O tiger among men, show yourself to me and make me happy. O Lord of men, I am overcome with grief, miserable, unprotected, and lamenting. Embracing the corpse, she lamented again and again. Then an invisible voice addressed her. O Bhadra, O sweet smiling one, arise and leave. I will give you a boon. I will father offspring on you. O one with the beautiful hips, after you have bathed after your season, on the 8th or 14th lunar day, I will lie with you on your own bed." At these words, Queen Bhadra, who was devoted to her husband and wished to obtain sons, did as she had been asked to do. O Lord of men, O supreme among those of the Bharat lineage, the queen gave birth to sons through the corpse, the 3 Shalvas and the 4 Madras. O bull of the Bharat lineage, you too will be able to have sons on me through the powers of yoga your mind possesses. That's Kunti telling Pandu. Vaishampayana said, having been thus addressed, the king, who knew Dharma and was always devoted to Dharma, addressed the queen again in these supreme words. O Kunti, O fortunate one, what you have said is true. In ancient times, Yushitashtva did act this way, but he was like a god. Let me tell you what the ancient and great-souled rishis, learned in Dharma, have laid down as Dharma. O one with the beautiful eyes, in ancient times, women went around uncovered. They roamed around where they wished and were independent. O one with the beautiful hips, O fortunate one, from the time when they became maidens, they were not faithful to their husbands. This was not regarded as against the Dharma, because that was the Dharma of those ancient times. Without desire and anger, this ancient Dharma is still followed by those of inferior birth. Yeah, it means those not born as a human. The practice of this ancient Dharma is sanctioned by the Maharishis. O one with thighs like that of a plantain tree, this is still practiced in the northern Kuru region. This eternal Dharma is favorable to women. O one with the beautiful smiles, the present practice of the world was only laid down later. Listen when I tell you completely when it was established and by whom. Pandu said, we have heard that there was a Maharishi named Udalaka. He had a hermit son named Shvetaketu. We have heard that he laid down this rule for humans in a fit of anger. O one with eyes like lotus petals, I will tell you why. In ancient times, in the presence of Shvetaketu's father, a Brahmana came and grasped his mother's hand and said, "Let us go." At this, the Rishi's son was angry and indignant when he saw his mother being taken away, as if forcibly. On seeing him angry, Shvetaketu's father said, "O son, do not be angry. This is the eternal practice. Women of all varnas are uncovered on earth. All beings are established in their own varnas, like cattle." Shvetaketu, the Rishi's son, did not accept this dharma. He established the present rule for men and women on earth. O immensely fortunate one, this is for humans, not for animals. We have heard that since then this rule has been established. From that day onwards, a woman who is not faithful to her husband will commit a sin that is equal to that of feticide and be miserable. He who seduces a virgin, one who follows brahmacharya, or a wife who is devoted to her husband will also commit a sin on earth. A wife who is appointed by her husband to conceive a son, but refuses to do so, would also commit the same sin. O timid one, in ancient times, thus did Udalaka's son, Shvetaketu, forcibly establish the present practice of Dharma. O one with thighs like that of a plantain tree, we have also heard that Sudasha's son appointed his wife Madayanti to obtain a son, and she went to the rishi Vashishta. O beautiful one, through him she obtained a son named Ashmaka. Kalmashapada's wife did this act so as to please her husband. O lotus-eyed one, You are acquainted with the story of our birth, O timid one. We were begotten through Krishna Dvaipayana, so that the lineage of the Kurus might be extended. O unblemished one, on seeing all these reasons, you must do what I am asking you to do, and this is Dharma. O princess, those who are learned in Dharma say that at the time of her season, a wife who is strict in her vows must seek her husband. This is Dharma. However, at other times, the woman is free to choose. Righteous ones who know Dharma say that this was the ancient practice. O princess, but those who know Dharma have also said that it is the duty of a wife to do what her husband instructs, be it in favor of Dharma or against Dharma. O one with an unblemished form, this is especially the case if one is hungry for sons, but is unable to procreate on one's own. I am like that, longing to set my eyes on a son. O beautiful one, I am joining my hands like lotus leaves with red fingers and raising them above my head. Be propitiated. O one with the beautiful hair, because of my instructions, give birth to sons who have all the qualities through brahmanas who are ascetics. O one with broad hips, through your act, I will tread the path of those who have sons. Vaishampayana said, Pandu, the conqueror of enemy cities, thus addressed Kunti, the one with the beautiful hips. She loved to please her husband and said, When I was a child in my father's house, I was appointed to look after the guest. There I satisfied, with all attentiveness, a fearsome Brahmana rigid in his vows. He had his senses under control and was learned about the secret nuances of Dharma. He is known as Durvasa, or Durvasa. Pleased with my service, the illustrious one gave me a boon and taught me a mantra. Any god that I summon through this mantra will come to me and be subservient to me, whether he desires it or not. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, this is what he told me in my father's house. O king, the words uttered by a Brahmana are never false, and the time has come. If you permit, I can summon a god. O Raja Rishi, O Lord, through that mantra we can have offspring. O supreme among those who know the truth, which god shall I summon? Know that I am waiting for your command so as to act. Pandu replied, O beautiful one, O one with the beautiful hips, you must act today itself, in the proper way. Summon Dharma, because he is the one who partakes of what is sacred. That which is not Dharma is never united with that which is Dharma. O one with the beautiful hips, the worlds will now think that what we have done is Dharma. There is no doubt that one who is devoted to Dharma will be born into the Kuru lineage. Since he will be given by Dharma, there will never be anything that is not Dharma in his mind. O sweet smiling one, therefore always set Dharma before you and summon him. Worship Dharma through your offerings and rituals. At these words of her husband, the most beautiful of women agreed. With his permission, she circumambulated him. Would anyone like to take over, or would you like me to keep going? There's quite a lot for the next chapter. I'll wait. I guess I keep going then, right? Okay. Vaishampayana. I'll go to 150. Brace yourself. I'll go.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. Yeah, sorry, carry on. Sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize. So yeah, I think it's really good, Kanai. Really, you're excelling. It's brilliant.
Thanks.
Well, no, it's true. I go off you go.
I mean, like, yeah, but if anyone wants to take over.
I mean, I can, but you are doing well. So why not do a bit more?
Okay, yeah, I would like to keep going a bit more. Especially, all right, let's go a bit more.
Yeah.
Vaishampayana said, right, O Janamejaya, Kunti summoned the undecaying Dharma for conception, after Gandhari had been with child for a year. The queen swiftly made offerings to Dharma and followed the rites that had earlier been given to her by Durvasa. Through his powers of yoga, Dharma assumed form and she united with him. Consequently, the one with the beautiful hips obtained a son who was the best of all living beings. This was a sacred Tithi, a lunar day, widely worshipped this day. It was the 8th hour of the day, and the sun was in the middle of the sky. It was the auspicious moment known as Indra, when the moon was in conjunction with Avijit. When it was time, Kunti gave birth to a famous son. As soon as he was born, an invisible voice was heard. There is no doubt that he will be a This is the invisible voice being heard. There is no doubt that he will be supreme among those who uphold Dharma. Pandu's firstborn son will be famous by the name of Yudhishthira. He will also be a famous king, renowned in the 3 worlds, endowed with fame, radiance, and adherence to vows. Having obtained this virtuous son, Pandu again said, It is said that the best thing for Kshatriyas is strength. Therefore, ask for a son who has great strength. Having been thus addressed by her husband, she invoked Vayu for a son, Vayu, the wind god. Through him, she obtained the mighty-armed Bhima, whose strength was terrifying. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, as soon as this immensely strong one was born, an invisible voice was heard. This son will be the strongest among all those who are strong. An extraordinary event occurred as soon as Vrikodara was born. Vrikodara is another name for Bhima. Falling down from his mother's lap, he shattered a mountain into fragments with his body. Kunti was asleep and suddenly awoke, frightened by a tiger and forgetting that Vrikodara was asleep in her lap. The son, whose body was as hard as Vajra, fell on the mountain. As he fell, he shattered the mountain into 100 pieces with his body. On witnessing the mountain break in this way, Pandu was astounded. O supreme among those of the Bharata lineage, O Lord of the earth, Duryodhan was born on the very same day that Bhima was born. When Vrikodara was born, Pandu again began to think, how can I obtain a supreme son who will be the best in all the worlds? This world depends on destiny and on human action. But as decreed, destiny is only obtained over a period of time. We have heard that Indra is the king and the best of the gods. He has immeasurable strength and endeavor, and he is valorous and unlimited in radiance. By pleasing him with austerities, I can obtain a son who is immensely strong. The son that he will give me will be the best. I shall therefore perform the greatest of austerities in mind, deeds, and speech. Thereupon, after consulting with the Maharishis, the immensely energetic Pandu of the Kuru lineage instructed Kunti to observe a sacred vow for 1 year. The mighty armed one himself stood on one leg for a year, performing severe austerities and immersed in supreme meditation. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, wishing to propitiate the god who is the lord of the 30 gods, the one with Dharma in his heart, worshipped the sun. Indra responded after a long time, I will give you a son who will be famous in the 3 worlds. He will ensure the welfare of gods, brahmanas, and relatives. I will give you a son who will destroy all his enemies. After the great-souled Vasava, who's Indra, had spoken to the king of the Kuru lineage, the one with Dharma in his heart spoke to Kunti, remembering the words of the king of the gods. O one with the beautiful hips, O sweet smiling one, devoted to morality, great-souled, radiant as the sun, invincible, action-oriented, extremely wonderful to look at, and endowed with Kshatriya energy, this is the son we will receive through the grace of the king of the gods. Summon him. At these words, the famous one summoned Shakra, who's Indra. The lord of the gods arrived, and Arjuna was born from him. As soon as the son was born, an invisible voice was heard in the sky, with a thundering and deep roar. O Kunti, he will be like Kartavirya and Shibi in prowess, invincible like Indra. He will spread your fame everywhere. As Vishnu increased Aditi's happiness, like Vishnu, Arjuna will increase your happiness. He will bring under his sway the countries of Madra, Kuru, Kekaya, Chedi, Kashi, and Karusha, and establish the prosperity of the Kurus. Through the valor of his arms, Havyavahana will be supremely satisfied with the fat of all beings in Kandava. That's reference to Agni. With his brothers, this immensely strong warrior will vanquish all small chiefs and perform 3 sacrifices. O Kunti, in valor, he will be the equal of Vishnu and Jamadagni's son Ram, which is Parashuram. He will be the greatest among those endowed with valor, and he will be invincible. He will acquire all kinds of divine weapons. He will be a bull among men, and he will regain the lost fortune. When Kunti was in her delivery room, these were the wonderful words that were heard from the sky, and Kunti heard them. The ascetics who lived on Shatashringa also heard these loud words and were supremely delighted. The Devarishis, Indra and the other gods, and the sound of drums being played raised an enormous clamor in the sky. Amidst this thunderous roar, the entire place was covered with a shower of flowers. All the classes of gods assembled to pay their respects to Partha, the offspring of Kadru and Vinata, the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, the lords of all beings, and all the 7 Maharishis, Bharadvaj, Kashyapa, Gautam. I believe this is probably a list of everyone coming to pay their respects to Arjuna. Jamadagni, Vashishta, and the illustrious Atri who arose when the sun was destroyed. Marichi, Angira, Pulasya, Pulaha, Kratu, Rajapati, and all the Gandharvas and Apsaras also came, wearing divine garlands and garments, adorned in every ornament. The Apsaras danced and sang Vivatsu's praise. With the handsome Tumburu, the other Gandharvas began to sing. Bhimasen, Ugrasen, Unayu, Anagha, Gopati, Dhritarashtra, Suryavarta, Yugapa, Trinapa, Karshni, Nandi, Chitraratha, Shalishira, Parjanya, Kali, and Narad, the 16th one, and Sat, Brihat, Brihaka, the immensely famous Karala, Brahmachari, Bahuguna, the famous Suparna, Vishvavasu, Umanyu, Suchandra, the 10th, and the famous Haha, and Huhu, whose songs are sweet. O bull among men! These were the divine Gandharvas who sang. The Apsaras were delighted and were adorned in every ornament. Those illustrious, long-eyed ones danced. Anuna, Anavadya, Priya Mukhya, Gunavar, Adrika, Shachi, Mishrakeshi, Alambusha, Marichi, Shuchika, Lakshana, Kshenma, Devi, Ramba, Manorama, Asita, Subahu, Supriya, Suvapu, Pundarika, Sugandha, Surata, Pramatini, Kamya, and Sharadvati. All of them danced in groups. Menaka, Sahajanya, Parnika, Punjikashtala, Ratustala, Gritachi, Vishvachi, Purvachiti, the one who is famous as Umlocha and Pramlocha. These 10, and Urvashi as the 11th, were long-eyed Apsaras who sang. The Adityas, radiant like the flames of fire, were assembled in the sky to increase the glory of the great Pandava. Tata, Aryama, Mitra, Varuna, Amsha, Bhaga, Indra, Vivasvat, Pusha, Tvashta, Pajanya, and Vishnu. O Lord of the earth! The illustrious Rudras were there. Mrigyavyadya Sharva, the immensely famous Niriti, Aja Ekapada, Ahibudjana, Pinaki, the destroyer of enemies, Dahana, Ishvara, Kapali, Stanu, and the illustrious Bhagam. The Ashvins, the 8 Vasus, the immensely powerful Maruts, the Vishvadevas, and the Sajjas were also assembled there. The serpents Kakotaka, Shesha, and Vasuki, Kachapa, Apakunda, and the mighty serpent Takshaka were there, with great energy, great anger, and great strength. Many other serpents also assembled there. There were also Vinata's sons, Takshya, Arishtanemi, Garuda, Asitadvaja, Aruna, and Aruni. When they saw this great wonder, the supreme hermits were astounded. Their affection towards Pandu's sons increased even more. But the immensely famous Pandu was again greedy for more sons. He summoned the beautiful Kunti yet again. However, she said, "A 4th son has not been heard of, even in times of calamity. After that, a woman is called promiscuous. After the 5th, she is called a courtesan. You are learned in the ways of Dharma. You are wise. Because of the desire for offspring, why are you transgressing the law and speaking as if you have lost your reason?" There you are.
Unmute.
I have. Haven't I? Yeah. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Vaishampayana said.
Hang on, Matura. Can I just say something?
Please.
Okay. So, Ajja Ekapad. Ajja means goat. Ekapad means 1 foot. And this Ajja Ekapad, you only see he has 1 foot in each age, in a different age. So he is in between the ages. And just like now, and just like now, sorry, just like now, we are crossing over from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. So the personality who is in charge of this changeover, which takes 800 years, is Ajja Ekapad. And that's why the people in this age who are in the big positions, they worship this goat. They worship a goat, Baphomet. And this is Ajja Ekapad, and he is between the 2 ages, swap over, for 800 years. 400 years has passed. And there's 400 years more coming now. We've come 400 years out of Pisces, and we have 400 years more coming in to the age of Aquarius. And this goat rules during this time. So all these elites are worshipping a goat. And I just thought I'd like to mention that. And please carry on.
Okay. A prana digression there, but a nice addition for all of the folk back here, you know,
Well, it does add a little,
to take into consideration in the great scheme.
Does add a little, something else to pop into the mix, Okay, carry on, man. Brilliant.
Okay, back to the story. Vaishampayana said, After Kunti's sons were born and Dhritarashtra's sons, the daughter of the king of Madra privately spoke to Pandu. O scorcher of enemies, I am not distressed, even though you find no qualities in me, O unblemished one. Though I am superior, I have always been regarded as inferior. O king, O descendant of the Kuru lineage, I have not grieved on learning that Gandhari has given birth to 100 sons, but I do have a great unhappiness. We are not equal in that neither of us has sons. However, it is my destiny that my husband has obtained sons through Kunti alone.
Can you speak up? Can't hear you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe I should put this in then. Hold on a second.
Maybe you can turn to the audience as well.
Good idea.
Yeah, but it's on the side like that so we can see them as well.
Is that better?
Much better.
Okay, good.
Instantly.
But you can just move.
Okay, so I've got to get this light up a
He's
bit.
talking over here, isn't
Sorry.
It's up to the
he? Yeah, it's going that way.
Okay.
Okay, is that better? Is that okay, Prana, now?
Much better.
Okay, I've got where the hell I am now. Where am I?
I have not grieved on learning that Gandhari has given birth to 100 sons.
Yeah,
Third line down.
from the top.
Yeah.
Okay, there. Thank you. I'll turn. O king, O descendant of the Kuru lineage, I have not grieved on learning that Gandhari has given birth to 100 sons, but I do have a great unhappiness. We are not equal in that neither of us are sons. However, it is my destiny that my husband has obtained sons through Kunti alone. If the Princess Kunti can arrange it so that I too have sons, she will do me a favor, and this will be for your welfare too. Since she is my co-wife, I find it awkward to speak to Kunti Bhoja's daughter, but if you are pleased with me, please ask her yourself. Pandu replied, O Madri, I've always thought about this matter in my own mind, but I hesitated to speak to you because I didn't know whether you would like it or not. Now that I know what you desire, I will act upon it. I am certain that she will not refuse when I speak to her. Thereupon Pandu spoke to Kunti in private. Pandu said, O fortunate one, please give me offspring for the lineage and the worlds. Do that which pleases me. Ensure that I, my ancestors, and my successors always have funeral cakes. For the sake of giving me pleasure, you will have to perform a supreme act that brings welfare. Do this extremely difficult act for the sake of your fame. Even though Indra has obtained sovereignty, he still performs sacrifices so that he can obtain fame. O beautiful one, there are Brahmanas who know the mantras and have obtained ascetic powers that are difficult to obtain. For the sake of fame, they too go to preceptors. All Rajasis and all Brahmanas who are blessed with the power of austerities perform the most difficult of deeds for the sake of fame. O unblemished one, obtain supreme fame and save Madri with a boat. Bestow children on her. Having been thus addressed, she spoke to Madri. Think of some god once, and through him you will certainly obtain a son who will be like him. After thinking about this for some time, Madri thought about the two Ashwins in her mind. They came and she obtained twin sons, Nakula and Sahadev. They all are anyway. So her beauty was unmatched on earth. I mean, all the characters. I didn't mean to be one of the sexes. When the twins were born, the invisible voice spoke again. I love these invisible voices. They're great. Akashvani. Yeah, I forgot about that. Isn't that funny? These beautiful, brave, and righteous sons will have qualities that will surpass all men. They will be radiant in energy, handsome and prosperous. O Lord of the earth, the inhabitants of the Shatashringa mountains performed the rites of birth and affectionately named them. The eldest son of Kunti's sons was named Yudhisthira. The one in the middle was named Bhimasena, and the third one was named Arjuna. Affectionately, the Brahmanas named the first of Madri's sons Nakula, and the one born later was named Sahadev. These supreme ones of the Kuru lineage were born 1 year apart. For Madri's sake, Pandu once again spoke to Kunti in private, but Priti replied, Prita, sorry. O king, I gave her, Prita, wait a minute, Pandu, okay, that's his, okay. Ah, sorry. But Prita replied, O king, I gave her the secret to be used once, but she obtained two and I was deceived. I am worried that she will get the better of me. This is the evil way of woman, fool that I was. I did not know that by summoning two gods at one time, the fruits would also be doubled. Therefore, do not command me again. This is a boon that I ask from you. Thus, 5 sons were born to Pandu through the gods. They were immensely powerful, performed great deeds, and extended the Kuru lineage. They bore all the auspicious marks and were as handsome as the moon. They were as proud as lions. Their gait was as powerful as lions, and they were great archers. Their necks were like those of lions. They were the lords of men, and they grew up with the vow of the gods. They grew up in the sacred Himalayan mountains. On seeing them grow, the Maharshis who were assembled there were astounded. These 5 and the other 100 astounded the Kuru lineage. They grew up in a short while like lotuses in a pond. Vaishampayana said, Pandu saw his 5 handsome sons grow up in that great forest on the mountain, protected by the strength of his arms. One day, it was the season of spring, when the forests are in full bloom and all beings are drunk and maddened. The king was roaming through the forest with his wives. Pandu saw the forest with the trees Palasha, Tilaka, Chuta, Champaka, Paribhadraka, and many other trees that were laden with flowers and fruits. The ponds were beautiful and with many kinds of lotuses. On seeing this, his heart turned to thoughts of love. Like a god, he was wandering around happily. Madri followed him, clad in a beautiful and semi-transparent garment. On seeing her youth through that garment, desire stirred in him like a dense forest fire. The king stared at the one with eyes like that of the blue lotus, like his own. He could not control his desire, and desire overpowered him. In that private place, the king forcibly seized her. The queen struggled and resisted to the best of her strength, but his heart was taken over by desire. He did not remember the curse. Following the dharma of intercourse, he forcibly entered Madri under the control of love. The descendant of the Kuru lineage acted so as to end his own life. He had no fear of the curse and penetrated his beloved forcibly with desire in his heart. His intelligence was deluded by destiny itself. Since he was prey to his senses, his consciousness was destroyed. Pandu, the descendant of the Kuru lineage and supremely devoted to Dharma, succumbed to the law of time when united with his wife. Embracing the senseless king in her arms, the miserable Madri began to repeatedly and loudly lament. Kunti and the Pandavas, who were her sons and Madri's sons, all came to the place where the king was lying. O king, Madri called out to Kunti, come here alone and leave the children there. Hearing these words, she asked the children to stay away. Coming closer, she screamed, I am dead! On seeing both Pandu and Madri lying on the ground, Kunti's body was overcome with grief. and she lamented miserably. This hero always protected me by controlling himself. You knew about the hermit's curse. Why did you transgress it? Oh, Mudry, you should have protected this king. Instead, why did you tempt him in this way, lonely place? Knowing and thinking about the curse, he was always miserable. How did he find pleasure when he was alone with you? O daughter of Balika, you are more fortunate than I. You have seen the Lord of the Earth's face when he was happy. Ooh, scratch your eyes out. Mudry replied, It was I who got tempted. I tried to resist him repeatedly, but could not stay away. It was as if he was intent on making his destiny true. Kunti said, By law, I am the eldest of the two wives. The fruits of Dharma accrue to me. O Madri, O beautiful one, therefore do not try to restrain me from what must be done. I will accompany my husband who has gone to the land of the dead. Arise and let him go. Take care of the children. Madri replied, I'm still embracing my husband and have not let him escape, nor has my desire yet been satisfied. O Elder One, please give me permission. The best of the Bharata lineage came to me for the sake of desire. With his desire unsatisfied, how can I let him go to Yama's abode? O revered one, if I live, it is certain I will not be able to treat your children and mine in the same way, and that sin will touch me. O Kunti, but you will be able to bring up my children as your own. The king has gone to the land of the dead because of his desire for me. Therefore, my body should be burnt with the king's body. O revered one, do what is pleasurable to me and burn them together. Watch over the children and think kindly of me. I cannot think of anything else I need to say. Woo! Having said this, the illustrious daughter of the king of Madra, wife by law to that bull among men, climbed into the fire of that funeral pyre. Woo!
Excellent. Well done.
Wow.
Wow.
What a drama, man. What the hell?
It's beautiful to see how the women are just as expert.
But it's, I mean, it's
being women.
such high drama, isn't it? It's really, ooh.
That's
That was
what-
hard for me. I had to really keep myself together.
No gaps.
I'm learning a technique now. It's just, I have to keep my pulling my stomach muscle. I was really
Still recording.
stiff upper lip, old boy. You know, who else is going to break down?
Vaishampayana said,
Ah,
the Maharishis, who were the equals of the gods, performed Pandu's last rites. Then the ascetics assembled and consulted each other. For the welfare of the kingdom and the country, the great soul, great ascetic came here, to live among ascetics and practice austerities. King Pandu has gone to heaven and has left his sons, who have just been born, and his wife as a treasure we must look after. Having consulted with each other, those who are engaged in the welfare of all beings decided to go to the city of Nagasharya, Hastinapur, with Pandu's sons in front of them. Those generous and accomplished ones decided on the journey so as to give the Pandavas to Bhishma and Dhritarashtra. As soon as they decided, the ascetics set out on that very moment, with Pandu's son and wife and the two bodies. There were parts of the bodies that had not been burnt. Having said this, there is some contradictions about when the bodies were burnt. Footnote.
Evidence of the body.
Earlier, she had always been used to a life of comfort. Now, out of affections for her sons, she saw that the long road was actually short. Within a short time, she reached Kuru Jangala, and the illustrious one came to the chief gate of the city. The citizens of Nagapura were astounded on learning that thousands of charanas and sages had come to their city. It was the moment of sunrise. After paying their respects to Dharma, the inhabitants of the city and their wives came out to see the ascetics. Masses of women, kshatriyas, vehicles, and brahmanas with their wives emerged, and large masses of vaishyas and shudras too. Their minds were all on Dharma, and there was no cause for disturbance. Shantanu's son Bhishma Somarata's son Bhalika, the Rajarshi was the site of wisdom, Dhritarashtra, the Kshata Vidura himself, and surrounded by maids, the queen Satyavati, the illustrious Koshalya and Gandhari emerged through the royal gate. Dhritarashtra's 100 sons, with Duryodhana at the forefront, also came out, adorned in myriad ornaments. On seeing the masses of Maharishis, the Kauravas and their priests bowed their heads in homage and sat down below them. The citizens of the town and the country also bowed their heads down to the ground and sat down below them. On seeing that the crowd was completely quiet, Bhishma offered the kingdom and the country to the Maharishis. At this, with the concurrence of the other Maharishis, the eldest Maharishi, was matted hair and a deerskin as his garment, spoke. King Pandu of the Kuru lineage gave up life of desire and pleasure and left for Shatashringa. He lived the life of a brahmachari there. But to accomplish the purposes of the gods, this son Yudhishthir was born there from Dharma himself. Then that great souled king was given another son named Bhima by Matarishva, another name for Vayu, and he's immensely powerful, best among those who are strong. Puruhuta, Indra, gave Kunti his son. Truth is his strength, and his exploits will shadow those of all other great archers. These two sons of Madri are great archers and supreme among those of the Kuru lineage. They were born from the Ashvins and are tigers among men. The illustrious Pandu always lived a life of dharma in the forest, and in this way he revived his ancestral lineage. As he witnessed the birth, growth, and study of the Vedas of his sons, Pandu always derived great pleasure. He never deviated from the righteous path. Having left these sons, Pandu has departed from the land of the ancestors 17 days ago. On seeing him on the funeral pyre and about to be consumed by the face of the fire, Madri entered the fire and gave up her own life. She has followed to the world of her husband. Now perform those rites that should be performed for them. These are the two bodies, and here are the supreme sons. Let these scorchers of enemies and their mother be respectfully received with rites of welcome. After the performance of the funeral rites, let Pandu, the upholder of the Kuru lineage, extremely famous and knowledgeable in all aspects of dharma, gain the right to ancestral offerings. Having thus addressed the Kurus, all the Charanas, Guyakas, Rishis, and Siddhas vanished in an instant before the eyes of the Kurus, like a city of the Gandharvas, leading to great amazement. Dhritarashtra said, O Vidura, perform all the royal funeral rites for Pandu, that lying among kings, and also specially for Madri. For the sake of Pandu and Madri, give away animals, garments, jewels, and all kinds of riches to any that ask for them, and as much as they want. Perform her rites the way Kunti would. Let her body be covered well, so that the sun and the wind cannot see it. Let there be no lamentations for the unblemished Pandu. He was a king to be praised, and 5 brave sons have been born to him, like the sons of the gods. Vishampayana said, O descendant of the Bharat lineage, Vidura, with Bhishma, did as he had been asked. He performed Pandu's funeral rites in an extremely pure spot. Without any waste of time, the royal priest left the city, carrying with them a fragrant and flaming fire for Pandu. He was laid on a bier and covered with the best of scents and garlands, and covered from all sides with cloth. This bier was also adorned with garlands, garments, and great riches. Advisors, relatives, and friends arrived. The lion among men was placed on a supremely decorated hearse to be drawn by men. With the well-covered Madri, The hearse was then pulled by men. A white umbrella was held above the hearse, and whisks made of yak tails were waved. With every musical instrument being played, it was a majestic scene. At the time of Pandu's funeral ceremony, hundreds of men distributed jewels among the crowd. Large white and pale umbrellas and beautiful garments were brought for the Kaurava. The sacrificial priest wore white and poured offerings into the blazing and strong fire that went ahead. Thousands of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras followed the king, lamenting in grief. O king, O protector, where are you going, leaving us unprotected and immersing us in eternal grief? Bhishma, Vidura, and Pandu's sons wept. At last they came to a beautiful, sacred, and wooded region on the banks of the Ganga. On the plain, Pandu's hearse, truthful lion among men, whose deeds were untainted, and that of his wife were laid down. The bodies were then scented with all kinds of perfumes, sanctified with pure fragrances, consecrated with the best of oils and bathed. Water was sprinkled from 100 golden pots. White sandalwood paste was smeared, mixed with black aloe and the juice of coconuts.
Wow.
They were then draped in white cotton garments. Dressed in these garments, that bull among men, tiger among men, seems to be alive, as if sleeping on an expensive bed. When the other funeral rites were over, the sacrificial priests gave their consent. The ornamented bodies of the king and Madri were covered in ghee. Fragrances like sandalwood, tunga, padmaka, and many other scents were applied and a fire was lit. On seeing the two bodies in flames, Koshalya lamented in her son's name and fell down on the ground. Unconscious, seeing her fall down in this way, the citizens of the town and the country also wept in grief, out of the affection they bore for the king. Along with man, all the other beings also cried out, even those of inferior birth. Shantanu's son Bhishma wept in great sorrow, as did the immensely wise Vidura. All the other Kurus were also extremely miserable and unhappy. Then Bhishma, Vidura, the king, the relatives, and the women of the Kuru lineage offered the water. O king, when the water ceremony was over, all the ordinary people sorrowed and consoled the Pandavas, who were overcome with grief. O king, with their relatives, the Pandavas slept on the ground. The Brahmanas and the citizens also slept on the ground. The Pandavas and the city, young and old, grieved for 12 nights, unhappy and miserable. Veshampayana said, later, the Kshata, the king, Bhishma, and the relatives performed Pandu's Shraddha, offering the immortal cake. Yeah. Which means like half Kshatriya.
I don't know what the name means, but he's often just called Mahabharata.
Yeah. But they say it's the Kshata, so I think it's like an adjective.
Yes.
I'm hearing Albinoni in the background, you know.
The Kurus and the chief Brahmanas were offered a feast in their thousands. A large number of gems and the best of villages were given to the chief of Brahmanas. When the period of uncleanliness was over, the Pandavas, bull among the Bharata lineage, were taken by the citizens to the city of Varanasharya. This is yet another name for Hastinapur. The word Varana means elephant. All the citizens of the town and the country still lamented for that bull of the Bharata lineage, as if they had lost a relative. When the Shraddha ceremony was over, Vyasa saw that the people were still immersed in grief. He spoke to his mother, who was also immersed in grief. Happy times are over. Terrible times lie ahead. The earth has lost her youth, and every day is more sinful than the preceding one. Oh, terrible time is coming, full of many delusions, thick with many vices, and with the rituals of Dharma destroyed. Give everything up and go and live in a hermitage. You will not be able to witness the destruction of your sons and lineage. She agreed to this. She entered her daughter-in-law's quarters and said, O Ambika, O fortunate one, I hear that as a result of the evil acts committed by your son, this Bharata lineage, along with all its relatives and grandsons, will be destroyed. I will take Koshalya, Ambalika, who is still grieving from the death of her son, and leave for the forest. Come if you want. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, Ambika consented. Taking Bhishma's permission, Satyavati, the one who was rigid in her vows, went off to the forest with both her daughters-in-law. O supreme among those of the Bharata lineage, there the queens performed terrible austerities. O king, they gave up their bodies and went on their journey. After observing all the rites prescribed in the Vedas, the Pandavas then began to grow up in their father's house, enjoying a life of pleasure. When they played childish games in their father's house with Dhritarashtra's sons, they excelled over them in running fast, in hitting targets, in eating, and in raising dust. Bhimasena defeated all of Dhritarashtra's sons. Playfully, he grabbed them by the hair above their ears. He caught them by the heads when they fought with the Pandavas. Alone and with the least effort, Vrikodara oppressed those 101 sons who possessed great energy. The strongest of the strong would kick them with his feet. He would throw them down on the ground and break their thighs, heads, and shoulders. When playing in the water, he would sometimes catch 10 of them in his arms and hold them down in the water, letting them go only when they were about to drown. When they climbed a tree to gather fruit, Bhima would kick the tree with his feet and make it shake. Shaken by the force, the tree would whirl around and swiftly fall down on the ground with its fruit, frightening the princes. In fights, speed, and martial exercises, the princes were never able to get the better of Vrikodara in any competition. Thus, in any competition, Dhritarashtra's son began to hate Vrikodara, even though he bore no ill will towards them, since he was only a child. Bhimsen's great strength became well known. On learning this, Dhritarashtra's powerful son, Duryodhana, revealed the evil side of his nature. He was wicked and inclined towards evil. Out of delusion and greed for riches, an evil thought occurred to him. Kunti's son, Vrikodara, the second of the Pandavas, is the best in strength. I must find some trick so as to kill him. Then I will overpower his younger brother and his elder brother Yudhishthira. I will tie them up and reign as the sovereign of the earth. Having made his mind up about this evil act, Duryodhana was always on the lookout for a chance to get at the great soul Bhima. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, for the sake of water sports, he had a powerful and large sports house constructed with cotton and wool. It was full of every object of desire. It was at a place known as Pramanakoti and slightly above the waterline. When the games were over, they would dress themselves in fresh garments, wear ornaments, and quickly eat. When day was over, the valorous Kuru princes would be exhausted from their games and would rest in that sports house. The powerful Bhima always prevailed over the other princes in water sports, but on one occasion, he was tired at there having been an excess of exercise. He wished to sleep in Pramanakoti and climbed up the bank and found a spot. He was clad in a white garment. He was tired and he was under the influence of drink. O king, the Pandava was tired and slept like one who was dead. Then Duryodhana quietly tied him up with the thongs made of creepers. He rolled him down from the land into the swift and deep waters. Regaining his consciousness, Kunteya tore apart all the bonds. Bhima, supreme among those who wield arms, arose from the water. On another occasion, when Bhima was again sleeping, he brought many snakes. sharp in teeth, immensely poisonous, angry, and virulent. He made them bite him in all the soft spots of his body. But even when they bit him in the soft spots, they could not bring him down.
Hey.
They could not penetrate his skin because the broad-chested one was too tough.
Hey.
When Bhima woke up, he killed all the snakes. He and his companions became very careful from that time onwards. He also had poison mixed in Bhimsen's food. This was freshly made Kalakuta poison, so virulent that it made the hair on the body stand up. On this occasion, the Vaishya's son, Vidura, alerted Prita's son so as to ensure their welfare. But though Vikodara ate this, it had no effect on him. Though the poison was extremely virulent and was meant to kill Bhima, Bhima digested and tolerated it. Then Duryodhana, Karna, and Subala's son Shakuni tried many other means to kill the Pandavas. However, the Pandavas, scorchers of their enemies, got to know about all of these, as advised by Vidura. They never revealed all this. Should I go on?
You wrote it up. That was fabulous. Wow, isn't it amazing? Oh my God. It's the tale of all tales, isn't it?
Right here.
Oh, I'm so good to focus on Bhima, really, because I've never gone that far really with it, because I haven't done the whole.
So, on the beginning of
I'm a
the
novice.
Okay. All right. Now, Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadodayam.
I didn't realize you were so
Janamejaya said, "O great Brahmana, please tell me about Kripa.
loud, please.
How was he born from a clump of reeds? How did he get his weapons?" The Vaishampayana said, Maharishi Gautam had a son named Sharadvat. O king, this son was so named because he was born armed with arrows. O destroyer of enemies, his intelligence was not attracted to the study of the Vedas. Instead, his intelligence was more attracted to the study of Dhanurveda. Just as those who know the Brahman acquire all the knowledge of the Vedas through austerities. He acquired all his weapons through austerities. Gautama's son worried the king of the gods because of his austerities and because of his experience in Dhanurveda. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, the Lord of the gods summoned a daughter of the gods named Janapadi and told her, create impediments in his austerities. She went to Sharadwat's beautiful hermitage. The young women began to tempt Gautama's son there, who had a bow and arrows in his hand. The Apsara was only clad in a single piece of cloth. On seeing her wandering around in the forest alone, with a form that was unparalleled in the worlds, Gautama's son's eyes became wide open. The bow and arrows slipped down from his hands onto the ground. On seeing her, his body went numb. But he still possessed his knowledge and the power of his austerities. The immensely wise one used his patience to resist temptation. O king, however, a sudden fever overcame him, and though he did not notice it, his semen issued forth. The sage left the hermitage and the Apsara. His semen fell on a clump of reeds.
Sorry, can you just repeat that whole little section again? Sorry.
So, however, a
The
sudden
Rishi,
fever.
There's a Rishi and an Apsara and semen, something going on.
So he resisted.
No, but can you go back even before that? Sorry, I must have been spacing out. I just need to get that thing.
Okay. The Apsara was only clad in a single piece of cloth.
Okay, thank you.
On seeing her wandering around in the forest alone, with a form that was unparalleled in the worlds, Gautama's son's eyes became wide open. The bow and arrows slipped from his hands and onto the ground. On seeing her, his body went numb, but he still possessed his knowledge and the power of his austerities. The immensely wise one used his patience to resist temptation. O king, however, a sudden fever overcame him, and though he did not notice it, his semen issued forth. The sage left the hermitage and the Apsara.
His semen fell on a clump of reeds, and having fallen there, divided itself into two. From this, a pair of twins was born to Gautama's son, Sharadvat. King Santanu, having gone on a hunt, and one of his soldiers happened to notice the twins. He saw a bow and arrows around them, and also a black deerskin. He therefore deduced that they were the sons of a Brahmana who was learned in the Dhanurveda. He showed the twins and the arrows to the king. Out of compassion, the king adopted the twins. He took them home, saying that they were like his children. He performed the usual rites and began to rear them.
So, okay,
Shantanu's
let's
the-
ask
I've got a question as well. What's a sage doing with a bow and arrow?
Oh, that was already
He just
made clear.
deduced that. He just deduced that because he just guessed that based on the black deer skin and the bow and the arrow. But actually, those are symbols of the birth that he's come from.
Oh.
Because of Dhanurveda.
So wait a minute.
Right.
So the semen that fell on the suddenly divided, and how did it become the twins? It just did.
It doesn't say how. It just says that it did.
I know that.
So you have to fill in that
No,
part.
it's just so brilliant,
So
isn't it?
Gautam was like a Brahmin, but a teacher of the kind of martial arts and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gautama's son,
Saratvat.
Sharadvat.
Bharadwaj. Oh, yeah.
Bharadwaj.
Dhanurvada, this is his son.
was not interested in learning the Brahmana. He was only interested in
Dhanurveda.
Oh, right. Cool.
And so, and the way everyone gets knowledge is by getting Brahman realization. So he did that by getting tapasya and got his knowledge that way instead of by study of Vedas.
So was he the creator of the Dhanurveda, or was
No.
Dhanurveda was in effect?
Yeah, that was just what he was focused on.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it was a
well,
bit
he
of
was attracted to it. Says.
Yeah. And so he was about youthful age, so just like, what would they do with though? Teach what? Oh, like martial fighting. Okay.
Is that what the Dhanurveda is about?
Yeah, martial arts.
Dhanur means
Danush.
Continue and justice after.
No, but this is all.
Danush bow.
Oh, we can do it after
The bow Veda. Dhanurveda.
No, but that's it.
Warfare.
We're not all.
We're churning the ocean.
Oh, we can go as
Yeah.
long as we like. We were the with
No,
the
20
gods.
minutes. Then we can talk.
Well, we could
Okay.
go. Yeah, we could. Okay, you're
Okay.
we follow the pundit.
Order in the court.
Yeah.
King Shantanu.
Out of compassion, the king adopted the twins. He took them home, saying that they were like his children. He performed the usual rites and began to rear them. Gautama's son, who had left, became an expert in Dhanurveda. Because the children had been reared out of compassion, the Lord of the earth decided to name them accordingly. Through the power of his austerities, Gautama's son got to know where they were, though no one knew the secret. Sorry, my glasses, yeah. He went there and told everything, including his lineage. He taught him the 4 parts of the Dhanurveda and the usage of many different kinds of weapons, including all the secrets associated with them. He soon became a great teacher. All the Maharathas learnt Dhanurveda from him. This included the Dhritarashtra's sons, the immensely powerful Pandavas, the Vrishnis, and other kings who had assembled from many countries. Vaishampayana said, Bhishma wanted his grandsons to do especially well and wished to instill discipline. He therefore asked around for a preceptor who would be learned in archery and would be valorous. A man of little intelligence, who wasn't illustrious, wasn't an expert in all weapons, and didn't have divine prowess, would never have been able to discipline the immensely powerful Kurus. In ancient times, Maharishi Bharadwaj was once getting ready to pour oblations into the fire. The Rishi saw the Apsara Gritachi herself bathing. The wind blew her garment away. At that, his semen issued out, and the wise one placed it in a vessel, a drona, a pot called a drona. The wise drona was then born from that pot. It's a measurement pot. It's a drona is a measurement amount, and the pot's named after. He studied all the Vedas and the Vedangas. The powerful Bharadwaj, supreme amongst those who know Dharma, taught the knowledge of the Agnaya weapon to the illustrious Agniveshya. O supreme among those of the Bharata lineage, the sage who was born from the fire gave knowledge of the great weapon Agnaya to Bharadwaj's son. Bharadwaj had a friend, and he was a king named Prishata. A son named Drupada was born to him. Prishata's son, That bull amongst Kshatriyas always used to go to Drona's hermitage to play and study with him. When Prishata died, Drupada became the king, a mighty armed lord of men over the northern Panchala. The illustrious Bharadwaj also ascended to heaven. Obeying the instructions of his father and driven by the desire to obtain a son, the immensely famous Drona took Sharadvat's daughter Kripi for a wife. This descendant of Gotama was always engaged in Agnihotra, the pursuit of dharma and self-control. She obtained a son named Ashwatthama. As soon as he was born, he neighed like the horse Uchaishrava. On hearing this, an invisible voice said from the sky, "Since this boy neighed like a horse, and his voice carried over a long distance, he will be known as Ashwatthama." Ashwa horse, right?
Okay.
Bharadwaja's son was extremely pleased with his son. He continued to live there and became extremely skilled in Dhanurveda. The great-souled son of Jamadagni was a conqueror, Parashuram, was a conqueror of enemies. O king, he heard that he was giving away all his wealth to Brahmanas. Bharadwaja's son spoke to him, and when Rama was already leaving for the forest, he said, "I have come in search of riches. Know that I am Drona, O bull among Brahmanas." Rama replied, "O blessed one with the power of austerities, nothing is left of the gold or other riches that I possessed. I have given it all away to Brahmanas. I have given to Kashyapa, the goddess Earth, right up to the boundaries of this ocean, with all her settlements and garlands of cities. Now I only have this body with me, weapons and many precious weapons. O Drona, tell me quickly what you want. I will give it to you." Drona said, O descendant of the Brigu lineage, give me all your arms and weapons of destruction, especially the knowledge of releasing them and withdrawing them. Agreeing to this, the descendant of the Brigu lineage gave him all his weapons, especially all the mysteries of the Dhanurveda. Having received this, that supreme among Brahmanas became accomplished in the use of weapons and happily went to see his beloved friend, Drupada. Vaishyampayana said, O king, Bharadwaja's powerful son went to Prishata's son and said, "Recognize me." Drupada replied, "O Brahmana, your wisdom is lacking and inferior. If you suddenly begin to address me as your friend, O one with a dull mind, no great king can ever be a friend with men like you. You have no prosperity, nor do you have riches. Time decays everything, including friendship. It is true that we were friends once, but that was based on friendship of equality, a relationship of equality. No friendship can be found in the world that does not age. Desire and anger both destroy it. Do not therefore talk about a friendship that has died out. O best of Brahmanas, find a fresh friendship. I was friends with you because it served my purpose. The poor cannot be a friend to the rich. The fool cannot be a friend to the learned. The weak cannot be a friend of the strong. Who wants an old friendship? Those of similar wealth and similar lineage can have marriages and friendship together, not one who is rich with one who is poor. One who is learned in the Vedas cannot be a friend to one who is not learned. One with chariots cannot be a friend to one who has no chariots. A king cannot be a friend to one who is not a king. Who wants this old friendship? Thus addressed by Drupada, Bharadwaja's powerful son was full of wrath and reflected for a while. The wise one thought about a course of action for Panchala and made his way to Gajasarya, the chief city of the Kurus, Hastinapur. One day, all the Kuru princes came out of Gajashraya together.
Out of where?
It's another name for Hastinapur because Gaja also means elephant, right? So the Ashraya of Gajas, the place of elephants. The brave ones wandered around, playing with a wooden ball. While they were playing, the ball fell into a well. With all their efforts, they couldn't find a way to recover the ball. The valorous Drona saw the princes were unsuccessful in their attempts. He laughed at them a little, and then softly told them, "Shame on your Kshatriya prowess. Shame on your knowledge of weapons. You have been born in the Bharata lineage, and yet you cannot recover a ball. Here is a handful of reeds. that I have invested with the mantra of my weapons. Look at their power, unmatched by that of anything else. I will pierce the ball with one of these reeds, and that reed with another one, and that one with another. With the chain of reeds, I will bring the ball up into my hands. On seeing this, the eyes of the princes widened with wonder. They saw him pull up the ball and spoke to the one who had pulled the ball up. O Brahmana, we pay homage to you. No one else has the knowledge to do that. Who are you? We wish to know your lineage. What can we do for you? Drona replied, Go to Bhishma and tell him of my appearance and qualities. He has great intelligence and will know what should be done.
Cool. Love that.
The princes agreed. They went to Bhishma, the grandfather, and told him exactly what the Brahmana had said and done. On hearing this, from the princes, Bhishma immediately recognized Drona. He thought this would be the right preceptor. He went to him in person and paid him the highest of respects. Bhishma, the greatest of those who wielded arms, then skillfully asked Drona about the reason why he had come there, and he told him the entire reason. Drona said, Desiring to learn the science of Dhanurveda, I earlier went to Maharishi Agniveshya. I lived there for a long time as a humble brahmachari with matted hair, desiring to learn Dhanurveda. The powerful Yajnasena, son of the king of Panchala, hard-working and dedicated, also studied with me under the teacher. There he became my teacher and was always willing to do what brought me happiness. Under that teacher, there he became my friend and was always willing to do what brought me happiness. I also loved his company. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, we studied together from the time we were boys. He would come to me and do things that were pleasurable for me. O Bhishma, he used to say things that brought me pleasure. I am the favorite son of my great-souled father. O friend, when I am instated by the king of Panchala in the kingdom, it will be yours to enjoy. I swear truthfully on this. My pleasures, riches, and happiness will all be yours. This is the way he spoke to me then. Having become skilled in the use of weapons, I set out in search of riches. When I heard that he had been instated, I remembered those words. Happily, I went to see my old friend in his kingdom. O Lord, remembering those words, I went to my old friend Drupada and told him, O tiger among men, recognize me as your friend. But he laughed at me, as if I were a person who was unimportant. He said, O Brahmana, your wisdom is lacking and inferior. O Brahmana, why have you suddenly come to me claiming to be my friend? O one with a dull mind, no great king can ever be a friend with men like you. You have no prosperity, nor do you have riches. The poor cannot be friend to the rich. The fool cannot be a friend to the learned. The weak cannot be a friend of the strong. The king cannot be a friend to one who is not king. Who wants an old friendship? O Bhishma, I was flooded with anger at Drupada's words, and I made my way to the land of the Kurus in search of disciples who might have the right qualities. I'll just read this very last paragraph.
Oh, brilliant.
Vaishampayana said, Bhishma and the Pandu sons accepted him as a preceptor, O king. With all kinds of riches, he handed over his grandsons as disciples to Drona.
Wow.
In accordance with the prescribed manner. Delighted, that great archer accepted the Kauravas as his disciples. Having accepted them, Drona called all of them together and told them privately when they were seated at his feet. O unblemished ones, there is a special task in my heart. You must promise me that you will give it to me when you have become skilled in the use of arms. O Lord, when they heard him, the Kauravas remained silent. But Arjuna, the scorcher of enemies, gave him a complete promise, and then he inhaled the scent of Arjuna's forehead repeatedly, embracing him delightedly and shedding tears of joy. Then the valorous Drona taught Pandu's sons the use of many weapons, human and divine. O bull among the Bharata lineage, other princes also came to Drona, supreme amongst Brahmanas, to learn the use of arms. The Vrishnis, the Andhakas, kings from many countries, and Radheya, the son of the Sutta, that's Karna. They made Drona their preceptor. The Sutta's son was envious of Partha and always competed with him. With Duryodhana's support, he showed his contempt for the Pandavas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that again.
Please.
That part that Radeya studied under Drona.
What's that?
I never heard that part that Radeya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Narayanam namaskritya naram
Like-
chaiva narottamam devim
Same as all.
saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. This is the last chapter of this section. So, Vaishampayana said, Arjuna took great deal of care in worshipping his preceptor and showed the greatest devotion in learning the art of weapons. He became a great favourite of Drona's. Drona summoned the cook and told him secretly, never give Arjuna any food when it is dark. One day, when Arjuna was eating, a wind arose and blew out the lamp and its light. Arjuna continued to eat in the dark, his hand moving to his mouth from force of habit. The Pandava then began to practice in the night. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, Drona heard the twang of his bowstring and came to him and embraced him. He said, I promise you that I will do my utmost to ensure that you are the best archer in this world and there is no one equal to you. Then Drona taught Arjuna the art of fighting from horses, elephants, chariots, and on the ground. Drona taught the Pandava how to fight in narrow confines with clubs, swords, spears, javelins, and lances. On witnessing his skills, thousands of kings and princes assembled to learn the science of Dhanurveda. O king, Ekalavya was the son of Hiranyadhanu, the king of the Nishadas. He came to Drona. However, since he was the son of a Nishada, Drona, who was learned in Dharma, thought about it and refused to accept him as a student of archery, out of consideration for the others. That conqueror of enemies touched Drona's feet with his head. He went to the forest and used clay to make Drona's image. He began to worship and treat this as his preceptor, devoting his mind to learning archery in accordance with the proper disciplines. As a consequence of his exceptional faith and supreme devotion, he acquired great dexterity in fixing an arrow to the string of the bow, aiming and then releasing it. One day, with Drona's permission, all the Kurus and the Pandavas, conquerors of their enemies, went out on their chariots for a hunt. O king, a servant followed the Pandavas, carrying the required objects with him, and he had a dog with him. They wandered around in the forest, their hearts set on what they wished to do. The dog also wandered off in the forest, got lost, and came upon the Nishada. On seeing the dark Nishada in the forest, his body covered with dirt and clad in a dark deerskin, the dog began to bark. When it kept on barking, he displayed great dexterity. In one instant, he shot 7 arrows into its mouth. The dog dashed back to the Pandavas, its mouth full of arrows. On seeing this, the brave Pandavas were extremely surprised. At this supreme and dexterous feat of shooting blind, they praised the person who had done this, but were also ashamed of their own skills. O king, the Pandavas went out to search for the forest dweller who had done this and found him, tirelessly shooting arrows. They did not know him, and his appearance wasn't handsome. They asked him, Who are you, and whose son are you? Ekalavya replied, Know me to be the son of Hiranyadhanu, the king of Nishadas. I am Drona's student, and I am trying to become skilled in Dhanurveda. The Pandavas ascertained the details of everything that had happened. On return, they told Drona the entire story. O king, Kaunteya Arjuna kept thinking about Ekalavya. He went to Drona and affectionately told him, In your affection, you embraced me and told me that no pupil of yours would ever be my equal. How is it that you have another valorous pupil in this world, the son of a Nishada king, who is better than everyone else? Thereupon Drona thought for a moment and arrived at a decision. He took Savyasati, Arjuna, with him and went to the Nishada. He found Ekalavya, his body covered with filth, his hair was matted, and he was attired in rags. However, with a bow in his hand, he was ceaselessly shooting arrows. On seeing Drona approach, Ekalavya went up to him. He prostrated himself on the ground and touched his feet with his head. After worshipping Drona in the prescribed way, the Nishada's son told him that he was his student and stood before him with joined hands. At this, Drona told Ekalavya, "If you are my student, give me my fee." On hearing this, Ekalavya happily asked, "O illustrious one, what can I give you? Command me. O you who know the Brahmin, there is nothing that cannot be given to the preceptor." Drona said, "Give me your right thumb as a fee." On hearing his terrible words, Drona's terrible words, Ekalavya kept his promise. Always devoted to the truth, he cheerfully cut off his own right thumb. With happiness on his face and peace in his heart, he gave it to Drona. O Lord of men! After that, when he pulled the bowstring with his other fingers, the Nishada found that he was no longer as swift as earlier. Arjuna was pleased, and his fever went away. Drona's words that no one would be able to surpass Arjuna came true. Among all the Kurus who were Drona's students, two became particularly skilled in fighting with clubs, Duryodhana and Bhima.
So that's just something at the end of the just stops there.
Yeah.
God, that was really brutal.
Yeah. Ashwatthama excelled in the use of all secret weapons. The twins were better than all the other men in the use of the sword. Yudhisthira was supreme in fighting with chariots. However, Dhananjaya was the best in fighting with every weapon. The Pandava was famous on earth right up to the frontiers of the ocean for his intelligence, perseverance, strength, and enterprise in all weapons. He was thus the foremost among all warriors. Arjuna was special, not just in his knowledge of weapons, but also in his devotion to his preceptor, though the instructions were the same for everyone. Alone among all the princes, Arjuna became an Atirata. Footnote: a Mahabharata is a warrior who can take on 10,000 warriors single-handed, and Atirata can take on 60,000.
Just like that.
O Lord of men, Dhritarashtra's evil-souled sons could not stand Bhimasena's great strength and Arjuna's skill and hated them. O bull among men, when they became skilled in all knowledge, a desire to examine their skill with weapons, Drona assembled them together. He got an artisan to construct an artificial bird and placed it on top of a tree. The princes could hardly see it, and it was to be used as a target. Drona said, "Quickly pick up your bows. All of you, fix arrows to the string of the bow. Stand here and aim at the bird in the tree. O sons, when I give you permission, one after another, slice off the bird's head."
I love that accent. That's brilliant.
The greatest Angidasa's descendants first addressed Yudhisthira. "O invincible one, aim with your arrow and let it go, as soon as I have asked you to." Yudhisthira first picked up the bow that made a loud noise. Then, as instructed by his preceptor, he stood, aiming at the bird. The descendant of the Kuru lineage stood there with his bow stretched. O bull among all the Kuru lineage! After a short time, Drona asked, "O prince, Can you see that bird on top of the tree? I can see it, Yudhisthira replied to his preceptor. After some time, Drona again asked, Can you see the tree? Can you see me? Can you see your brothers? In reply to each question, Kaunteya answered one after another, I can see the large tree. I can see you. I can see the bird. Drona was displeased at these words and reproachfully told him, This is not for you. You will not be able to hit the target.
Wow.
Then the immensely illustrious one placed Duryodhana in the same position and Dhritarashtra's other sons, one after another, so as to test them. Bhima and the other students and the kings who had come from other countries were also asked. All of them said that they could see everything and were scolded. Smilingly, Drona then summoned Dhananjaya. This target is for you to shoot down. Listen, as soon as I ask you to, you must shoot, O son. Stand here for a moment with your bow taut. Thus addressed, Sabyasachi drew his bow into a semicircle, aimed at the target, and stood there, as his preceptor had instructed. After a while, Drona asked him in the same way, O Arjuna, do you see the bird seated there? Do you see the tree? Do you see me? Arjuna replied, I can only see the bird. I cannot see the tree, nor can I see you. Pleased, the invincible Drona waited again for a moment. Then he again addressed Pandava, bull among warriors. If you can see the bird, describe it to me. Arjuna replied, I can only see the bird's head. I cannot see its body. Arjuna's words, Drona was delighted and his hair stood up. He told Partha, Shoot! And he let the arrow go. The Pandava sliced off the head of the bird on the tree with his sharp arrow and brought it down on the ground. When Falguna, Arjuna, succeeded in the task, Drona embraced him and deduced that Drupada and his relatives had already been vanquished in battle. O bull among the Bharata lineage! A few days later, the best of those of the Angirasa lineage went with his students to the Ganga to bathe. When Drona entered the water, a powerful crocodile grabbed him by the thigh, as if sent by destiny itself. Though quite capable of saving himself, Drona told his students, Kill the crocodile and quickly save me. Even before he had finished speaking, Bibatsu let loose 5 sharp arrows that killed the crocodile under the water. The others were still standing around, looking confused. On seeing the Pandavas' swiftness in action, Drona was extremely pleased and decided that he was the best of his students. The crocodile was chopped into many pieces through Partha's arrows. It let go of the great-souled one's thigh and returned to the 5 elements. Bharadwaja's son told the great-souled Mahabharata, O mighty armed one, receive this invincible and supreme weapon named Brahmashira. With the knowledge of releasing it and withdrawing it, you must never use it against human beings. If it is used against an enemy whose energy is inferior, it will burn up the entire universe. O son, it is said that there is nothing superior to this weapon in the 3 worlds. Therefore, preserve it carefully and listen to my words. O brave one, if a superhuman enemy ever fights with you, use this weapon to kill him in battle. With joined hands, Bibatsu promised that he would do so, and had been asked and received the supreme weapon. His preceptor again told him, No man in the world will be greater archer than you.
Wow.
And thus ends section 7 of the Shabha Parva.
Wow.
Do you want to end it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Absolutely amazing. Well, what a fantastic way.
Wow.
Well,